All right. You got it recording?
We are recording. And so it begins another episode of Midnight Movie Distillery.
Hurry up, I want a drink.
Okay. I'm one of your hosts, Logan Lynch.
So good.
I'm another host, Warwick Price.
And I am Lon Black.
Does anybody talk like that in any of the movies we're talking to? We're going to be talking about today?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
Although there was that creepy phone calls in Black Christmas.
Pretty big cunt.
That was more like this, though.
Yes, that was all added in
I think so.
post, by the way.
It wasn't
Was
posted.
it?
You could tell because they were answering too fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway. Welcome to another episode. We're bracketing again today.
Yep.
This is phase 2. We're on the second bracket now, right?
Yep.
Second bracket of the Elite Eight.
Who's up against what? Shall we put it up on the?
We're doing bourbons first.
So we do the. I guess we should kind of paraphrase it of what we're doing.
Yeah,
right? For
I guess.
new people who didn't see
but
the
we have
first
so many
episode.
followers that we've got to
That's
let
true.
everybody know
But
what's
someone
going
might
on.
be coming
Didn't see the
new.
last one.
Yeah, we got such new ones coming
New
all the
people
time.
coming in all the time.
Let's hear it. What are we doing?
I'll let you take it.
Wow, you guys.
We're just so anxious because we're all ready to drink.
So we're trying to, like last year we did the classic kind of pairing reviewing two movies, pairing them together and doing our finishing the bottle episode of like kind of overall talking about both movies. This year we decided how can we kind of do something a little bit different, and so we decided we're going to do brackets. It kind of started out as we want to kind of review bourbons in different classifications. Like, $40 bourbon is kind of like the sweet spot for most people, as like that's really the kind of price point that you're looking at for most people's bars. And so we're like, how can we kind
And
of
there's some bad $40 ones out there too, right? Like, so I
Absolutely.
think what we're doing is we're taking a bullet for the people. You know?
We are.
Maybe.
We are.
We didn't include bullet bourbon.
No,
I know we didn't.
That
Yeah,
was the plan was.
that was
All
it,
right.
yes.
Bad choice of words.
Anyway, so the point is we came up with a list of a final 8 of bourbons in that $40 price bracket, and we thought, hey, let's do brackets. Let's do the whole NBA thing or NCAA bracket thing.
We're doing the MMD thing.
MMA
Yes.
thing, sorry. No copyright violation here. And so because we were going to do that for bourbons, we're like, hey, let's do that for movies. And originally it was going to be all movies, and that became too big. And so we're like, let's just do the 70s. And ultimately we'll do the 80s and whatever. So the 70s. So last episode, which I'm sure you watched, we pitted
It was Halloween
versus
Invasion of
Invasion
the
of the Body
Snatchers.
Snatchers, and Halloween. I'm going to say, unsurprisingly, won.
And yet,
But surprisingly
but
at
it
the same
was
time.
a lot
close.
closer than we expected.
it was close.
On our bourbons,
The bourbon side, we had, what did we have? We had Long Branch. Against small batch, Four Roses. Four Roses, small batch.
Yep.
And, or as Warwick likes to call it, small batch.
small batch.
Small roses.
roses.
Small roses.
They are very small roses.
Yes. And that was yet again, I mean, it was right on par with the movies. It was a tough, neck and neck battle.
It was a surprise. To me, that was a surprise victory.
Yeah.
I
but
thought
Long Branch pulled it out.
I thought, small branch. That's
See,
what
now you got,
did.
yeah.
Small branch.
I think it's going to be easier because now we have Long Branch
Right.
moving on. So, yeah, we won't have
Anyway.
to worry.
But it was definitely a surprise
Yes.
finish. I thought Four Roses small batch was going to
win.
Yeah.
Hands down.
And it didn't.
Very surprising.
Long Branch pulled it out.
Anyway,
So
that's kind of
Crazy.
what we're doing. So this is the second episode. Go watch the first one if you haven't already watched that.
we'll finish watching this one, then go back and watch the other.
No, you should watch the first episode.
Yeah, jump back and then watch.
They're separate, but
That's true.
we've
They're
already got them
independent.
here.
All right.
Finish watching.
So let's go.
We need the views.
Wait, remember, I did the clap thing. We got to get this episode
Okay,
going.
sorry.
I
All right.
did that.
So
And
this episode,
Starting with bourbons.
we're starting with bourbons, and we are reviewing Uncle Nearest.
there we go.
Thank you.
Uncle Nearest and FEW
FEW.
Bourbon. And if you watched the last episode, you will know that basically what we're doing is a kind of a blind taste test.
Yes.
So we know what's in A, and we know.
Although I personally had forgotten already.
I agree.
yeah. Which is
and-
probably good for the test,
Sure.
the taste test.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I'll say we know what's in B. But
We
what
used to.
But what we don't know is we have two drinks here that were poured as A and B, and on the bottom of those drinks it has a label that says A and B. We put
We each
down each
mixed it.
other's glasses, so we don't know which one is which.
They were mixed up,
It's as good as we can get with 3 people here, folks. So
Yes.
just suck it up. So
which took a lot of brain cells to make this decision.
let's jump into this. So I
Sure.
do want to mention something. Uncle Nearest, we haven't had, but you have.
I have.
In fact, if you watched our episode, our New Year's special, which was 2 weeks after New Year's, we did a review of all the bourbons that we had, and Logan so proudly pulled out, let's try this, and everybody was blah, 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 blah. And so Logan just poured himself a couple glasses and drank his own.
Because we like what
bourbon.
we liked.
Yes.
And honestly, that was a great idea bringing it. I did want to try it, but I didn't.
And this
now
was
I'm
Uncle
upset.
Nearest 1854? 56.
You know what? I didn't specify that in there, but
Sure.
that is a specification.
I believe it's
because Uncle Nearest has like 4
1856.
different years.
Yeah.
We'll clarify it once we
Yeah.
open the
There you
box
go.
up.
Yeah, there you go. And we'll add it to the bracket too. But FEW is a bourbon that I don't think we've reviewed it.
Is it few and far between?
Oh, no. Stop.
Sorry.
Just no.
I don't think we reviewed
Stop.
it, but we've definitely had it at like all of the whiskey tasting.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
And
I know we did, Lon,
yes, we
when
did.
somebody didn't go.
Yes, and then we
just
did
got the same names.
when somebody else didn't go.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
But I've had it both times. However, so FEW is a local to Chicago distillery.
Yep.
It's not far from where we live, and yet they are a national brand. When I say national brand, you can get it in almost any state. Most states, you can get it. I know our favorite people
Few
down in
of them.
Texas have tried it.
Yep.
They have reviewed FEW bourbon, so it's a bigger brand than most. We did do a FEW Serial Killer by FEW.
Yes, we did.
One of my favorites.
Was that
in
that
fact,
was for the house that Jack built?
that was that was for the when we were doing J horror,
Yes,
because it was
yeah.
a Japanese
sorry.
process
Yes.
for fermentation that they used to
With
make
rice,
the grain
okay.
with rice, but they used it for the corn and the barley, I believe it was for the.
Okay.
Anyway, it was phenomenal, and I actually chose that for my New Year's topper because. So, all right, we're getting
I
to
think
it. All right.
Warwick's already got his glass up.
So let's dive in. Uncle Nearest and FEW. I don't know which one's which
I'll let you
yet.
guys
but-
drink while I describe the look on their faces. So, Lon is going for the nose first.
One smells a lot more peppery,
And
but more
Warwick-
subtle. I
Warwick
guess that's
coughed.
the peppery one.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Interesting. Okay. I think Lon is already deciding. in
So I got one that smells better.
That would be this one.
Well, for this one, for me, I don't know if it's the same one for you, but yeah,
his-
that's
now let's do a first impressions. So
Okay.
take your first sip and then.
so. First
I'll-
impressions, smell wise, this is way better than this.
Okay.
This is just.
So, at those that can't see that are listening on SoundCloud,
Good question.
Lon has one in his right hand, one in his left hand. He said his right hand is better than his left.
Although
hand.
really,
Which,
that might.
which he does every other week.
I was
as
going to
well.
say, yeah.
I was going to
He's
say that's
ambidextrous.
almost inconsequential only because his right hand might be what I have in
Sure.
my left.
No.
But let's just
Details of
say,
his life.
Trust me. What I have in my right hand is not what he has.
let's just say, I think Warwick and I are on the same page as far as one of them being smelly. The smells better than the other one.
Okay.
Yes.
We are
I have
probably
not
smelling
done
the same thing.
anything yet with
what
mine.
the fuck? Why
because
not?
I'm trying to make sure we have fillers so that we're not
Oh,
having
go ahead,
dead air.
sniff it up.
So,
Let me
so
watch
you
you
guys,
sniff it
up.
okay,
Sniff
now
away.
you guys can discuss.
Yeah,
while
I can sniff while you're looking.
One up each nostril.
Ooh, double.
I got to see that happen.
Ooh, wait.
Yeah. Now see.
Okay.
Ooh, wait. Now what's the notes? What are you smelling? You smell pepper. You
So-
smell sweetness. You smell sugar, honey. What do you got? What do you got going on?
I'm getting the
What do you got?
pepper from my right.
Yes.
Okay. Just say one of them because nobody cares.
Well, I'm saying right because when I do make my eventual pick, I'm going to say left or right. So
Okay.
I don't get as strong with the left.
So it's more subtle.
Yeah.
But
so
one is more peppery or is more sweet?
I would
to
say
me-
pepper for right, and then I'm
Okay.
assuming because I don't want to say I'm desensitized to sweet, but
Right.
sweet doesn't. It's got to be very sweet for me to be
Okay.
smelling it on the nose. I think a little
Okay.
more. That's where I think the taste is going to come in. So I'm taking my first sip for those on. Do you want me to do it like on the mic?
Wow. Let me just say, my first sip was not what I was expecting.
No, on my left, no.
It was a little more.
I'm actually gonna have to give that like a good like 5 or 10 seconds. To,
yeah, you got to let that
cool off.
settle in. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That was that. So for those that I originally thought
gotta
the
get two
right
sips
was
in
going to be
first.
my right was going to be more heat, we'll say,
Mm-hmm.
than the left based on the smell. But at this moment, the left is surprisingly hotter.
I will say that.
Totally.
I'm going to agree with that. It's like
100%.
when, from my
God, yeah.
my left one,
Oh my god!
the smell is way more pleasant, way sweeter,
And yet that one was
way
had more
hotter
kick.
than the other one.
Interesting.
That's
okay.
the same thing. So I had the same thing. The sweeter one with lower smell. It wasn't as pungent, wasn't as
Yeah.
strong, was very strong.
Right.
Shit. Okay, I'm.
But a pleasant warmth. I mean, it's
yeah.
like,
It's the burn was good.
It's not a bad whiskey.
No,
No,
right.
it's
No,
a
no.
very good
This
whiskey.
is
but I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
So yeah, I got to actually go into that. They're both very good. I remember when we were at.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you take a bigger sip?
I'm not
Ooh,
liking.
no, I sipped the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not liking the other one.
Really?
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
He's Alon. We're gonna start calling him the Owl.
I got a palate cleanse between those two. Those two
Really?
are vastly different. Vastly different.
Yeah. That is very peppery. Lot of heat.
Pungent
Um,
comes to mind.
It just it's a kick in your
Kicking the
pants.
cack.com.
I mean, it's like that's a cough when you take that down.
Okay, now this is probably gonna sound odd, but they've flipped.
That does sound
Explain.
So left initially
One's male
smelled
and one's female? Is it-
less potent.
How does it identify?
Yeah. They identify as not hot. The left for me was originally very very high heat. Mm-hmm. Right didn't get so much. And I shit you not, they have now flip-flopped. And the left on the second sip, I am not getting nearly as much
I think
heat.
you're getting a little palate blindness on this one.
You
I think you're getting a
All
little
right, so should
confusion.
I'll flush. I'll flush
You
for the
need to
third
f-
one.
you need to flush
also,
between.
Do you think some of that might be because I think that for me the left hand one is way smoother,
Yeah.
and I think that heat, and again that heat was more warmth than heat. Like in other words, it wasn't an unpleasant heat.
Sure.
It was a warmth that coated my throat as I swallowed it. Stop it.
I'm sorry.
Well, then stop saying things so fucking
Is this,
pornographic.
is this a dirty movie going on over here? What is
I love the way it shot into my mouth
Yeah.
and then oozed down my throat. Come on.
The liquidy goodness was so warm as it came down my throat.
Wow.
Wow.
It hit the back of my throat.
Well, say,
It's got a bit of salt.
you're just giving in.
It's a bit nutty.
A bit nutty.
Oh God, I think
Oh my God.
we're having way too much fun. Okay. So I'm going in for third sip. You guys are
Okay.
probably on like 4 and 5.
Okay.
But I cleansed my palate according
Something
to
else that you may want to look at sooner than later. There's a definite color difference because I'm trying to judge with all the senses, right? There's one that's
look at
darker
the
than the
bottom.
other by a considerable amount.
Yes, the one that I think is hotter is way lighter.
Oh, okay. See now,
So-
son of a bitch, we're flipping back.
See?
Hold on. Okay, now I haven't had the other one yet. So I'm going to cleanse in between that one just in case.
So what I'm saying is, one of them now, I've had one of these bourbons, but honestly, I don't drink it frequently, so I probably couldn't pull it out of a blind taste test. So this to me is a very fair test. But one of these has a certain little tinge to it the other one doesn't have that's making me favor the other one.
Shit.
But I'm
This
really
is
trying to
making it even
identify
harder
what
again.
that is. It's almost a little bit of a funk we've talked about.
So you're saying
funk
it's
in whiskey.
non-binary.
I'm saying there's some other binary. I think there's a third.
Tertiary.
There's a third binary in there.
See, but it's almost like
It's turning into quantum states over here. So
This
okay.
is tough. This is tough.
So if I were to go at this moment,
I don't think it's tough at all.
Really?
really?
No, I
well, yeah, you coughed, so
I think-
anytime Warwick coughs, you know it's not good, and he's gonna vote that off the island.
It's going to be voted off the island. The left-hand one, which is the one I liked from the very beginning, is smoother. I love the smell of it. It has sweetness to it. It has warmth to it. Again, not heat.
How'd the color look on it?
What I thought was heat is just warmth. The other one, it's peppery, very peppery. It hits the back of your throat.
And there's that funk. I'm getting that funk again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting that funk I'm
Now-
not liking.
Based on previous episodes that all of you have watched, when you mention funk,
Yeah.
is that peat?
No.
No.
Okay.
Funk is anything from Ireland.
Funk is... Shut the funk up. What I'm talking about by funk
is
is...
George Clinton. No,
is an unidentifiable pungency or an unidentifiable
Okay.
flavor.
I know, but in the
that is
past,
affecting
I've
it.
know that a lot of times you have mentioned that.
No, I would never describe peat as a funk.
Okay, right.
Because
What am I
peat
thinking
is
of?
peat. Smoke is smoke. You know those two. They're clearly identifiable.
Does Pete
a
repeat
funk is
in a
something
boat
oh my
and Pete fell
god.
out?
Pete
Different peat.
funk
Michael
is something I
Fitzpatrick.
can't
Patrick Michael.
identify what the flavor is.
Okay, but it's not a bad thing.
No.
Okay.
It's not. Sometimes it is, but not always.
Unless it's from Ireland.
Agreed. Unless it's from Ireland. Irish whiskey has a funk. That's actually a very good.
That's
See,
why I
there
said
we
it.
go.
That's very good analogy.
That's why I said it.
Irish whiskey has a funk.
Pork's like, I know what I'm talking about.
but it's not a good funk for Irish whiskey. Irish whiskey has a bad funk. I've had good Irish whiskey. Any of you follow this from last year?
gun.
I'm very much against Irish
This is
whiskeys.
hard.
But we have found a few, at least two that I think
Pun intended.
that are good.
It's not
Good Irish whiskeys. The Pot Still
Yes.
is a great Irish whiskey. But that's a good example. That's the funk. One of these has a funk. Not the Irish whiskey funk, some other kind of funk. I don't care for it as much. I think
I'm not a big fan.
I think there is a it's starting to become a clear winner now.
Okay, so I flip-flopped multiple times.
We know
Each
we
time I
watched.
drink, it's like every other one, it seems to just go...
Ah,
And I don't... I'm still kind of torn. Like, I still think last episode, please go watch, was harder to distinguish the two. It's not too hard to distinguish between the two. It's hard to pick which one I like more, if that makes sense.
so
But they're totally different.
they are.
They are.
completely
They're totally different, but it's more of like I have to choose. So to me, it's one of those. All right, which one would
Yeah.
I continue to drink?
agree
Like
now.
I'm gonna finish both of these off, but
Right.
it's one of those. Okay, and I have tried now drinking one right after the other, rinsing in between, burping afterwards.
Farting. Don't forget the farting. We all know that you've been
There's
farting.
been a lot of farting.
We understand. We're next to you.
Okay,
you
Mister
son of a
I gave you a
bitch.
cheesesteak pizza.
Oh yeah, blame me.
It's not the pizza. No, the pizza was great, but my body goes, hey, what the fuck you doing?
I didn't fart, by the way.
Yeah, right.
That he won't tell us.
I had the same pizza.
All of a sudden, I'm like, anyway, my mouth was open, man.
But yours smells like pizza. His smells more like spotted dick.
Oh god.
Oh,
Anybody British out there know what
I
that
do love
means?
spotted
Okay.
dick. You can get a cream.
You're not
as it
supposed to
doesn't
say that
smell
out
You
like
loud.
can,
haggis,
you can
I
get a
guess we're
cream
good.
for that now.
A cream sauce over the top of the spotted dick? Is that? Because that's
cream
the way to go.
sauce.
Yeah. That's,
Are we still talking about?
no,
food
I don't
here?
know what the fuck
I
we're
love
talking
spotted
about.
dick.
So, to me, I now have a clear winner. What I did find out was tasting these two next to each other
Hold on.
fucked each other up.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm feeling right now. Is
They
it's like
they fight.
Yes.
These two. One is not like the other, and so it takes a
One of
while
these
to
things is
separate
not-
them
Yes. So we're
Right,
gonna do
right,
that
right.
Again.
But again, that's why, you need a palate
because the
cleanser between
smell
two.
didn't match the pungency or the hotness,
that
and
reminds me
yet
of a girlfriend.
even that and the color between the two and the funk that started coming out in one, I now have a clear winner.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm.
So you guys have clear winners. I'm gonna probably have you guys go first because I'm still.
I had a
It's probably
clear-
gonna take me to finish these before I go. Okay, but
I had a clear winner from smelling them.
Really?
Oh my
but
God.
wait, you didn't decide from that point though. You
No,
tasted them.
no.
Okay.
Of course. But what I'm saying is, like when I smelt them, I was like, this is the one I feel is going to be the winner. And then as I drank them, I'm like, yep.
See, now I'm getting to a point where one is tasting good, the other one is tasting bad.
okay, that's good.
So-
then that's gonna help define your
Exactly.
winner.
That's my point. In other words, they were fighting in my mouth. One beat the other. Okay.
I think we're getting more tipsy.
Let's try this again.
This is getting funnier to us as we go along here.
Let's try this again. Folks, you at home, forget what you just heard.
You were double fisted.
We're going to try this again. These two were fighting for flavor. No, that's not. These two were
It's
fighting.
no better.
And one of them beat the other one up.
They
I'm
beat
just
the
saying.
other one off
Up.
in your mouth.
So which one
To
finished
where I
well?
don't like.
This is not what this podcast is
Oh,
about.
it is all what this podcast is about. I think this is how we started. We just laughed our asses
We
off.
can't announce
Okay.
our winners until you decide something.
All right.
Because then we'll
so I'm
influence
going to go
you.
back. So I've done like pretty much every combination you can do. I've done one before the other.
Have you done it standing on your head?
I have not.
Have you
you
done
done it
without
on a bed?
Are we turning
you
into
done it with
Dr.
a fork?
Seuss over here?
Yeah,
Go see me in one episode.
Good.
Yeah, a little throwback.
However, I do think you're being a pussy about this.
Okay.
Just
Let me-
pick
okay.
one.
So honestly, if I went based before this test right now,
Yeah.
if I had to choose, I would choose this one,
Then
which is
choose-
my left.
Then choose that one.
So I'm gonna go one last sip.
Sure.
and
Which
you guys
one's
are gonna
first?
Talk dirty again.
What?
I'm
then,
gonna go.
then you should sip that one
I'm
first.
gonna go with this one.
I agree.
With the right.
Yep.
First. Son of a bitch.
See?
Hold on,
See?
hold on. So I'm doing it right after the other.
Have you had few before?
Yeah, but I don't know if I've had that one.
Because you're the only one here, I guess, who's had
Okay.
both of these.
No,
I have
I'm
not.
gonna go
I
with
don't
it.
think
Okay.
Warwick has.
So I'm gonna go with my left.
I'm gonna go with my left as well.
I am also going with my left. But let's see if the numbers match up.
You mean the letters?
So now here's the thing.
Letters.
Do we need to like
Numbers,
sit on
letters,
our
whatever the
hands so that we can do the stranger? Sorry.
All right, Logan, I want you to announce first.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. I'm peeling the sticker, and I chose B again. Damn, I went B again. My first one was B.
Mr. Wick,
I chose B.
I also chose B.
Ooh,
The
okay.
clear winner.
Is
Few.
wow. Okay, well here
Wow.
I'll take this one off just so people
Awesome.
see it. Okay.
So I will say that after a while, the
Crocodile.
richness and the creaminess and the smoothness of this one came through enough to make me forget that flavor so much to where that one started tasting bad.
Okay.
And that's how I knew this one was the winner, because it was hard. It was hard because they're two completely different bourbons.
Yes.
Totally,
Oh yeah.
totally.
The-
You could tell they were separate.
Absolutely. But when you try to compare the two, it fucks each other up. You know,
Yep.
fucks the other one up. And you're like, well, now this one tastes sour or whatever because of that one. You got to cleanse the palate and you got to keep sampling. Eventually one stood out. And Few is, after a while, like I said, I wanted more of Few. I didn't want anything else to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I said it's like, I know I kind of said it before. It's like just the smell, like the smell of now we know Few, was just so much more pleasant than the Uncle Nearest. And when we started tasting it, it followed suit. This was just so peppery. God, pardon me.
You okay?
Yeah, sorry.
You're not going to start farting like Logan. are you?
No, I wouldn't do that because I'm English.
I wonder if his farts are like cheerio. Cheerio.
But so this was just like
Did you move the winner?
He thinks every British accent sounds like Oliver Twist. Did you notice that? When we do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
I should say.
Yeah.
that's because it does.
Yeah.
It's every- it's every
That's
day
because
now.
it does.
But
I'll let
I
him
said
finish
it just
the
it's thank you. That's what you did last night.
Wow. Wow. Are we off track?
Anyway, so this just
friendship
like
here.
from the get go, just it was like overly spicy, like overly peppery, just way hot, and for me not a pleasant hot.
Okay.
And again, back to the Few, it was like I said it as we went through it. It's what initially was I thought was a heat. Was really a warmth.
Yes.
It was warm.
Completely
it was
agree.
pleasant. Swallowing it, and again switching back out to the Uncle Nearest. Again, that was a heat, and it was a heat going down my throat. I mean, it was not a pleasant experience.
So while I'm kind of giving my quick review on this, Do you want to look up? I know for a fact this one. Then this is the only reason I purchased this bottle. It actually won. It got a gold medal in Las Vegas at a bourbon.
Las Vegas.
Yeah. And this one, there was a couple Uncle Nearest that actually.
Salsa
This
from
was rated
Las
like 94 out of 100. The Uncle Nearest was. So that's the only reason I would have purchased this bottle. Otherwise, I had seen it. Very unassuming bottle. But as I was drinking these, they literally seemed to complement each other. When I brought in the water, though, that seemed to dull the heat of the Uncle Nearest, which made it a little more pleasurable. So I'm gonna, if you still have some left, I would wonder if you poured a little bit of water in your Uncle Nearest.
we're talking. Hold on, the difference. Few is.
I know you already
90
made the team. But
This is-
I know,
this is
but I'm just
93.
saying 90. This is 93 proof, and
So is
that
this.
so they're both
according
the same.
to this, that's 93 proof, not
Right.
90. Oh, you said 93.
No, 93.
Okay, all right.
Well, and so in which case then, if you're doing it based purely on the alcohol content, they
They
should
should.
they should
They
both
should.
have the same heat.
See, so then-
Absolutely,
so then what I-
absolutely,
but-
absolutely.
So then what I'm saying is
Yeah.
that's why I was bouncing between them.
Yep.
No, I didn't
Yep.
really know
But-
what the fuck was
But
going
again,
on.
but they clearly don't.
No, they don't. And that's the thing I didn't like was, honestly, though, if somebody were to purchase this, I feel like that's why I want you to try it with a splash of water.
I'll dilute the shit out of this because
You don't even,
the
just like it's
pungency is
literally a
getting to me.
drop, just bloop, done. Yeah, I think that might allow you to get the other flavors out of it. Obviously,
Did you
I
do
picked
that?
few. Yes, but the
And
way I
did it
did it was
work?
I drank some water and then immediately drank the actual Uncle Nearest right after that.
So
And,
I will.
and it cut down that burn.
I will 100% agree. It does cut down.
Because you're diluting it. Of course it
Correct,
does. What
but
the fuck?
that was where I took the sip, put the bottle down, then grabbed it, and then it still cut it down. Which to me, I would have thought by then. But
Okay,
but
hold
you're
on.
you're functified
There's
right
a
now.
funk. There's that funk. It's a bitterness. It's a flavor profile that I'm not liking. The problem was, I started, my first sip was Uncle Nearest before I went to FEW. And that pungency and the thing was strong. And I thought, well, my first sip in, we all know you got to go 3 deep before you can really determine. But wow. Well, actually, it's more
I was
like
gonna say
this.
was it one of these?
Two in the pink and one in the. Listen,
pink, one in
so
all the way down. It's down to the knuckle.
But then when I
keep
let it
digging.
rest, did a little wash and started with the FEW, then I was able to say, wow, FEW is really good. Went to Uncle Nearest and it tasted worse.
Now,
Because that's just it. They were battling.
I remember when we went to the Lincoln Park.
Yep. The
tasting
big World of Whiskeys.
that Lon wasn't, or that Warwick wasn't at.
Warwick didn't.
I
I'm
remember the
always
year
there.
before when
Yeah,
Eric didn't.
yeah, shut the butt. Anyway,
By the way,
so-
tickets go on sale very soon.
Ooh,
really?
all right,
saying.
let me know because
Just
man,
saying.
I am definitely in.
Just
That
saying.
was the best amount of money I've ever spent. Anyway, although I thought 312 is gone now, isn't it?
What's that?
Isn't 312 gone from across the street? 312.
312. Oh no, you're talking they
sold,
the
I
tasting
thought.
room. No, they
No. The where we ate.
Yeah,
at.
the bar. The
Yeah,
bar.
They closed
restaurant.
that down. Look it up. I got it.
When did they close it down?
Like they've sold to somebody and they're going to
They
tear
were
the whole thing down.
Packed all the freaking time.
I swear.
what he's
'Cause I was
talking
like,
about
wait,
is-
that can't be the one. And then I went and I literally took the address, got on there. I'm like, that's the one we were at.
So Goose Island
Goose Island,
Brewery,
there you go.
for those of you who don't know, Goose Island Brewery is a big brewery in Chicago. They got so big that Anheuser-Busch had to buy them out because they were getting too big. And they have a ton of different brews that are out there, but they have a tasting room and then they have a separate bar, tavern, restaurant. And the restaurant was fantastic. It's right across the street from the World of Whiskeys when we at the Binnies that we go to the World of Whiskeys for. So we would go to the World of Whiskeys and then we'd go over to the restaurant and eat there before we head to the train station.
and I think we ate afterwards just to be.
We
on the safe
did.
side.
You and I went there before and after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
we
We
when
just
we
went there after. No, we did go before.
We
too,
did
didn't
go
we?
before. Yeah.
We went to the bar and
We were
snacked and
we were there
stuff.
quickly though because we had to
Because we had to hurry. Anyway, the point is, it was fantastic. Why would they close?
It was. I think they're tearing it down to build up new space there.
They just built that space. They just
that's why I was kind of
literally
shocked. So
built
we
it
got to
out.
look it up. I swear to God,
right,
I was a
okay.
little frustrated, but
All right.
either way.
So do we have a winner, by the way?
yes.
Oh
yeah.
my God! Yeah, well, we already
we chose
determined
FEW.
that this was the winner.
FEW. So
right.
now
FEW.
I want to kind
We're
of go into that
digressing. Moving on,
because
Giggle.
while you're looking that stuff up, FEW was one that we had while we were there.
Yes.
and I did not like.
Shit.
I did not like. I don't know if it was. I'm pretty sure it was a different version than what we have here, because it was a blue label.
Oh, the blue label is different. The blue label is.
We might need to look that up. But
Was
either
that-
way,
was that
I was
the
not
rye-
impressed.
was that the rye?
But now that may have turned me off, because we tried multiples. I know we tried 2 or 3 of the FEWs that were there, and I'm almost certain that the red one was one of them. But I may have tried the other 2 first and then tried that, and I was kind of just turned off by that point.
I'm not unconvinced that I agree with you.
Yeah, it's one of those things where something can. Again, maybe we should make a wafer that no.
No,
It's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do agree, and it might actually even have been in our text trail about this. It's like, again, the whole thing of being predisposed one way or the other. In my head,
It is the rye. Sorry.
didn't think that I liked this, and maybe it's because it was the rye that I tried at the Whiskey Fest. Because it's like I was like, I'm not gonna like that. Not gonna like you.
I did not think I was going to like FEW over Uncle Nearest, especially, but because I know in the last episode when we had it, or 2 episodes before that, it was, excuse me, it was surprisingly better than I thought it was going to be. Uncle Nearest was, but yeah, pitting this blind taste test is really bringing out
It's tough.
a lot of.
It's hard to do.
And the nice thing about this, I think, though, is that it's forcing me to focus more on not just immediate flavor and, I like this one more than that one. It's when you bounce between the 2, it's forcing you to go, oh, shit, which one did I like more?
Yeah.
And the scary thing with this is that I said scary just because of the fact that we're doing horror movies, is
good
because
choice of words.
you don't know. And honestly, it's not a matter of not wanting to be wrong. It's more of, I have like you mentioned, preconceived notions that, Uncle Nearest should be better than FEW, right?
Right.
So I get scared that, am I going to pick, Uncle Nearest over FEW, or am I going to pick, FEW over Uncle Nearest? But I love the blind portion of it because it's like, I have no clue. I'm going based off of, like you have mentioned many a times, whatever bourbon you like is the one you like at that point in time.
Right.
And, I had a bad experience, I don't want to say, but
Yeah.
a bad tasting with FEW, so I already kind of shut that off in my head, but now drinking it, I'm like, okay, that's actually way better than I thought.
I will say this: with FEW, they're higher end. A lot of their other ones are very expensive or can get very expensive. But like Serial Killer is very expensive. So it couldn't make it in this. But that was one of the most unusual, weird tasting bourbons that the first time I tasted it, I'm like, what the f is
It's
this?
not like Red Saw.
No, that's bad.
That was so
Nothing-
bad.
nothing
That was
That
so
was
bad.
horrible.
But after like the second and third sip of Serial Killer, I was hooked.
Okay.
I find myself when I'm downstairs and we're watching movies. Or
Is
I
it
got
because of the
somebody over-
complexity, though?
Absolutely,
Okay.
because of the complexity. Because at one point you're like, I've got a craving for this.
Okay.
I've got a
love that. I love that
specific
feeling.
taste for profile.
Okay.
I need to have some Serial Killer.
Yeah.
And Serial Killer is like $70 or something, $75. And I'm like, I gotta have it. So that Serial Killer that I've got is I've got like this much left. It's a flavor that hooks you, right? This one is the same sort of thing. It's unusual flavor. It's not like any other bourbon that you've had, but it kind of hooks you, and you start to crave that flavor profile when you're in a certain mood.
Okay.
Right?
Well, and that's why I had mentioned in a previous episode, like, what was your day like, right? Because you could have a day where I don't know if that applies to what you were feeling with the Serial Killer. Mainly, it was just one of those days where you're just,
Well-
or was it like, you know what? I had a really good day. I need to dampen that,
I do remember
So-
the movie that was paired with was Itchy the Killer.
Yes, yeah. So that's where I feel like mood can play into because if you're not in the mood for a burn, you're gonna just be like, okay, shut that off immediately, right? Whereas if you're kind of like, you know what, whatever comes my way today, you're gonna be a little more hesitant, but you'll still
I
be
agree.
Yeah.
more receptive at the
There's
same
definitely
time.
something amount of that. I mean, I think
I agree.
it's that whole, kind of what you're saying. It's like if you're at home and you're relaxing and you're just watching a movie, you want a drink that isn't going to like jar the senses.
Sure.
Something that's just going to be comfortable, you can enjoy, and that's obviously the thing you do with a whiskey generally is it's like, it's all about sipping. So it's like,
Right.
you're gonna sip it and it's going to be pleasant. Where if you're out with a bunch of friends and you're listening to loud music and you may prefer to have something that's just a little bit more jarring,
Sure.
To your taste buds.
See, yeah, I feel like those days where it's one of those oddities where you just things fell into place type of days.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, oh, hey, I tried this thing. It worked on the first try, to fix something maybe. And then next thing, everything just kind of fell into place. I feel like that's where a complex, bourbon would fit in, because then you're like, everything's been easy today. You know what? Let's
That's
make
because
things.
you've been drinking bourbon all day.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So to me, like that's where a complex one would fit right in, because then it's like, you know what? I would probably watch maybe like an
I
Eraserhead
agree.
type of
I
movie,
agree.
right? And then crack a bourbon where you're like, yeah, there you go. Kind of snap back to reality, right?
Right. Because if you don't want to think about it, you go and honestly, for me anyway, I go in the back and I'm like, I don't want to think about it. I just want some bourbon. I just instinctively grab like the Four Roses base.
Sure.
And tap it off because I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be smooth, and I don't feel bad
You know what to
drinking it down
expect.
because it's cheap.
Right.
It's not that expensive, so I'm not like, oh, I don't want to know if I drink the Lagavulin tonight because I don't have that much left. You just Four Roses, down. But if I'm like, all right, I need something rich. I need something thick. I
Sure.
need something fucking punch me in the face. Then I'm going to go looking for what I got. Like honestly, a lot of times I go to Backbone because Backbone is punch you in the face flavor, and something like this is a punch you in the face flavor. You got to look for those things because that's what you're in the mood for. That's why you determine what you're going to drink for the night.
Right.
I've been happy.
Okay.
So now
We killed
this
this
is
one to death.
one
Let's
part
move
of
up. So
the
let's
episode.
Let's jump to the.
So we've got the second portion, which is going to be.
I just want to point something out
sure,
here.
sure.
FEW has done some specialty bottlings.
Oh, he's.
Flaming Lips.
Ooh,
They've done
like
one
the
for
band?
the band
Oh,
Flaming
really?
Lips.
Okay.
And
Are they a Chicago band?
I don't think so,
I
but
don't think so.
Alice in Chains.
Really?
They got an Alice in Chains bottling.
Wow.
But he's
That's
dead.
pretty awesome.
Isn't
Yeah, it
Lane
is.
Staley dead? All right.
I just like that. Anyway.
All right.
Okay.
That's cool.
So.
Now, are they
back
different
to-
flavors, or is it just the bottling's different?
I did not
All
read
right.
that far.
We'll go.
And
Oh,
we're
wait.
just gonna
He's
jump
getting
to
it. There it
this.
goes.
All right.
All right. So now that was the bourbon, and now we're going to watch him switch
Clearly.
over with all of his prawn. Oh, sorry.
Bada
So,
boom.
so now we've got Long Branch against FEW.
Wow, that's going to be a good one.
This
Now,
is,
mind you, that's going to
wow.
be a
That's-
couple weeks away because we're going to have to do the George Remus against against Russell Reserve. I realize I'm talking far away from the mic. George Remus versus Russell Reserve. Why do I keep saying Uncle Nick?
See, Uncle's hanging in
And
there.
then
Remus.
Whiskey Acres versus Woodford. I'm really looking forward to
Yes.
that one because I love both those bourbons. So anyway, so those are the next two, and then we'll get down to Long Branch versus FEW.
So,
That'd be good.
before we go off of this real quick, what's worse than ants in your pants?
Okay, what is worse than ants in my pants?
Uncles. Okay. I'm just going to leave it at that. Since it didn't make it, we can make fun of it. Anyway, all right.
movies.
So now,
Switch over
Let's
to
get to
movies.
the-
he's going to switch over to the movies while we.
Damn, we got to get going.
he just has to press
we
something.
went overtime.
I know, but knowing him, he's probably got like.
We'll have to cut our
He's
movie
got his-
one short.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right,
can
you
put
ready
it
now?
in. So now,
All right, movies. See, he's got what is that? The porn coming up there.
The Omen versus Black
All right.
Christmas.
So
This is you because
I
you're the one
gotta-
who fought for Black Christmas.
I got a clear cut winner on this one already, but
Really?
because I rewatched, I didn't even rewatch Black Christmas. I rewatched Omen just to. I told you I gave it a second chance.
Okay.
A second chance?
A second chance.
That doesn't sound
the reason I say second
Which
chance
one
is
did you give a second chance to?
The Omen.
That
So-
needed a second chance.
That
like-
needed a second chance.
How many times have you seen it before?
Probably 3 times before.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So this would have been my 4th viewing. I'm just gonna go right into it. I thought The Omen was horrible and stupid, and it was a movie that had potential. Had potential. I know this is fighting words, and I know you love
I
conflict,
love
but
the conflict.
but to me, I just the kid actor he did a good job because I wanted to punch the shit out of him, but
Okay. I thought he was horrible in it, but
I felt
everybody
like
else
they
was
could have
good.
done so much more with that movie. Now, Black Christmas, this was kind of out of left field. The only way, I'll give you a quick, brief synopsis on how I ended up on that
Well,
movie.
hurry up because I want to rip you a new asshole.
I know
Hurry
you
up.
do. I know you do. That's why I'm trying to get in as much as I can. Black Christmas, I was watching. I came home from being out with some friends one night, and we turned on. I want to say it was Turner Classic Movie, but it could have just been any channel. And it was about 2 or 3 minutes before the scene with the eye in Black Christmas. Mm-hmm. And we were talking and, just shooting the shit as friends would do. And I happened to be watching the screen, and that part came up, and I nearly shit my pants with the eye sticking. And
I remember the scene.
And it
quite
caught
well.
me off guard, and I thought, I need to rewatch. I need to see this movie because that's the ending of the movie, right? So I went back and I literally found
Spoiler.
found the VHS. Yeah, whatever. At this point, if they don't know we're doing spoilers, GFY. Anyway, but that to me made me go back, watch the entire movie, and I liked it even more. Now, Omen, the first time I watched it, I did love the beginning. I did when the woman.
I'm doing it all for you, Damien.
Yes, yeah, that I was like, ooh, this is and then I
Right.
liked how they were trying to tie in the photographer, with because roughly, honestly, if you think about it, I saw these movies both roughly around the same time. Like I was probably a senior in high school. I'm not gonna say when because that's just gonna show how old I am. But yeah, I saw
older
them.
than Warren.
I
You're
would
younger
say
than us.
I would say probably within 5 to 6 months of each other. So I had seen them
Oh.
initially both fully
Okay.
at about that time frame.
Fair enough.
And immediately I would have said Black Christmas. And the Omen, I thought I'll give it a second chance because you guys had Woodies over Damien.
Well, you didn't give it a second chance because of us.
Yes, I
Really?
would not have watched it. I would not have watched it because I knew once it
Really?
was going up against Black Christmas. But I rewatched it just for you guys.
Okay.
So
Okay.
on rewatch, I will give it some props because there were points in the movie that was great. I fucking hated the kid, which that was the intention, right? The acting on the mother's part made sense. I thought the father was a little too old for
Oh, yeah,
he was-
we
I didn't
Amy
look
and
it
I
up,
talked
but
about
Yeah.
that too.
yeah, he was
I
probably in his
little-
50s at the
Yeah, it
time,
was a little
which hey
uneven.
man, he's an ambassador and he was pounding, but
Yeah, yeah.
his guys can swim.
Good props to him.
But yeah, I just to me it was a landslide. I'm like, no, Black Christmas instantly. So
Excellent.
So go ahead, let's hear it.
Excellent.
So I will say, Black Christmas is a movie that I had not seen until the very first time, until I moved over here, moved over to the States.
Okay.
So I moved over when I was 21. I'm old now.
Older than 21
Like,
anyway.
like more,
He's still
23,
21 somehow.
more than
24
30 years
maybe?
ago.
Okay.
But
Wow, well, you just said it right there. You just aged
more
yourself.
than 30
All right.
years.
Yeah, that's a lot of. Put you like in your 70s or some shit.
But I'd seen, even up to that point, I'd seen Omen probably at least 10 times.
Okay.
Now, admittedly, it was a U.S. financed movie, but it's basically an English movie. I
Sure,
mean,
it's all European,
It's
Italy,
it's all done in England.
UK.
And I love the Omen. I mean, I think it is great. Yes, the kid. He's a 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid. I mean, it's like
6.
You know,
that was his 6th birthday. No, that's serious. That's
Right,
what it
right.
is.
No, no,
6th
yeah.
birthday.
He's probably the weakest link in that whole thing. But
Agreed.
The nanny is just fucking.
She
just
is-
so fucking evil.
She is spot on. I'll give that props too.
Creepy
And-
as F.
Go ahead.
But
You had your say, bitch.
I did.
Sit back.
Lee Remick is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
And always has been. Yes, Gregory Peck is he's just old.
He's got the voice, though. He's got the voice.
Interesting fact, he hadn't been receiving a lot of roles, and so he was about to retire, and then ended up doing this role. He obviously wasn't in the sequels, but
Obvious reasons.
But it's I loved everything about it. It's I remember as a younger kid watching this. And the whole thing with the pictures and the lines through
Yeah,
the pictures
that was a good idea.
scarier than fucking shit. The whole thing of And some of the stuff didn't come out until I didn't realize until later. The whole thing that priest, he was part of the. The whole 666 thing he was part of the Devil's Clan. That
correct, because he had this mark on him too.
That
he had a mark on his leg.
Do the switching at birth.
So that I took that as that was his kid. Because how do you get a birthmark that matches?
It's
somebody?
nobody. What do you mean? It's not his kid. It's the devil's kid.
It's the devil's kid.
Born of a jackal. It's Satan's child.
So right.
Some human's
kid. In the same way that Mary, if you believe all that shit, Mary Immaculate Conception.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So they're saying, okay, that makes a little more sense.
Immaculate Conception.
I
the other
took that
way.
as that guy had the birthmark. Damien had the birthmark. So
no. So the point is the nanny would have had the birthmark as well, and the priest that ultimately got burned and blinded in the comment, he would have had the birthmark as well.
He might have had the birthmark. So the part, I think he turned though. I don't think he was born to be a minion. I think he.
But the priest
decided to make something, and he
father, whatever his name is, with the spike through him. At the end, like he was the same way. Like he repented.
He repented. Right.
He turned, and
which is why he tried to warn him. Right.
Correct.
And he was like,
because he was trying to get into heaven. So he's like, I got to fix this.
This isn't me making shit up. This is like I know this is the case.
Sure.
I know that we switched your kids.
Yeah, he was there. He said he was there.
Yeah. The stuff that, yes, there's a little bit of stretching of imagination of the fact that, the whole prophecy, which again isn't actually really in Revelations, of the son of Satan would go into
business,
politics. Would be in politics. It's like, yes, the whole.
It's all a lot of interpretation, I think, with the Bible and things like that. So I get that portion, because they even say, well, he said this in the poem, but it actually could mean politics, right? Like they try to explain that portion of it.
Yeah, kind of a Nostradamus type thing.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, 2 eagles flew into a tower. Oh, that automatically means 9/11, right? I mean, you can.
One of the eagles was a bald eagle, therefore it's the United States.
Yeah. So I get that portion of it, but I don't want to say, because it's a good movie. It's still a good movie. Like, I'll give it props, but I felt like Black Christmas was one of those movies where it was more true to form. Like, it could have happened, right? Any person could just.
And the Omen couldn't. No, it couldn't.
I was gonna say
because
the devil has to exist.
Yeah, exactly.
God has to exist.
So you run into that, but that's where
religion has to exist.
But there's kids. So, and I know there's been all those things too, where people have said, well, a lot of these possessions that happened back in the day were either faked or could have just been mental illness and things like that.
They were undiagnosed diseases.
Correct. Yeah, it could have been schizophrenia, things like that. So. It's harder for me to, I'm still a fan of The Exorcist, but I know that the original thing that it was based off of was kind of bullshit, right? Like, the kid came out and said, yeah, I kind of,
faked it,
so to speak.
Right.
But it's still a goddamn good movie. Now, pun intended, I said, goddamn. Anyway.
Yeah. We caught it. We're just letting it slide.
So the thing is, I don't want to say that I hate The Omen. I just didn't like it as much as Black Christmas.
Totally viable.
And it's hard because, I'll have people probably, hopefully in the comments, please do like, subscribe, and comment, that are going to fight me on this. But The Omen, the plot was great. The way they did things. Granted, I don't like what they did with those are Dobermans, not Dobermans. The type of dogs. Rottweiler. Rottweilers.
Yeah.
Because they gave probably Rottweilers a bad name.
So in fact, the sales of Rottweilers went through the roof.
Really?
Right.
When this was
okay.
Because they wanted a tough dog to defend them.
Then I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Bitches got their own.
So the one thing I know I haven't let you go.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry.
Keep talking. It's okay.
But so the other thing, because
I don't think he liked the movie.
So I'll talk about the props for Black Christmas.
Sure.
I think Black Christmas was a great movie. I mean, but as I said, it's like the first time I saw it was probably, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm sure I saw it.
It'd be weird if we both saw it at the same time.
Maybe, I don't know.
That'd be fucked up.
All
right.
But it's like, and I've seen it again on Joe Bob's.
That's what
show.
I originally saw. Not originally, but.
And so, I know a lot of the kind of trivia things, and I've written down some of the stuff, a lot based on the Joe website and other things I've researched. I think it's a good movie. I personally do not think it's as good as The Omen, because I think it just follows. I'm going to say way too many classic tropes, but there's definitely an argument for it created some of those kind of tropes. And you know, it's like, I think it's funny that like Margot Kidder is a perfect example of I hated her character.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I didn't think she was.
But I loved her in Amityville, though.
Well, and I loved her in Superman.
Yeah.
Superman. Sure.
See, I felt like she was kind of the comic relief for the movie because
No, the comic relief was the sergeant.
Yeah, clearly.
Like fellatio 5-3s.
Right. Oh, it's something dirty, isn't it?
It's a new
Come on,
exchange. It's a
come
new
on.
exchange.
Yeah, he was almost
Sergeant
ridiculously
Nash.
stupid. But I get your point. She was the drunkard, and that was a character that was unbecoming of her normal character roles. But I didn't want to interrupt you.
No. So what I was going to end with, and then you can do your part. It is like, again, these top 8 by very nature are picked because they are some of the best things.
Right.
So
you weren't the only one who chose one of those movies to be in there.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just saying that was on my list too.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't on my list. It wasn't even on my lower list.
I agree.
You're not helping sell the movie that way.
But it's like, you know, I thought obviously rewatched it for this episode. I thought it was a perfectly good movie. I do not think it's as good as The Omen.
Okay. Simple enough.
So
Is it my turn yet?
Yep.
Yeah.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Bring it up.
First of all, I love Black Christmas.
Okay.
When I first saw it originally.
So you're saying BCM? Black Christmas Matters.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Wow. Hate mail? Send it to, what's your address again?
It's on Black.
I am Logan Lynch.
Yeah. So it was a great movie. It was a fun movie. I remember watching it a long time ago, and even, because my wife and I, we watch horror movies almost every single night. And way back when, even I'm like, oh, you gotta watch Black Christmas. She goes, I've seen it. Let's go watch it. It's great, and we watch Black Christmas because it's a fun movie. It's got a great sort of chemistry about it with the girls and the sorority, and my favorite is the house mom who hides bottles of liquor everywhere. I mean, it's got some nice, cute things about it.
It was the last movie before she died.
But my God, man, we're talking The Omen.
Yes.
We're talking about not only a substantial movie in cinematography, soundtrack. It won Emmys. It won awards for the music.
Jerry Goldsmith won an Oscar for this. It was the only Oscar he ever won.
The acting in this was phenomenal. The storytelling was phenomenal. The cinematography was phenomenal. Everything about this movie, except for the kid actor, was phenomenal. It was so well done, the storytelling, that it made it a staple. And that gave way to, gateway to a genre of demon movies.
Sure.
There was, as much as I hate to say it, Black Christmas did nothing for the slasher films. It did nothing. Look, he's vibrating. It did nothing for the slasher films. It did nothing to further it. It did not become an icon. The killer was lackluster. The killer was a retard.
Yep.
The killer did not have any charisma.
Mentally impaired for that.
It did not have anything else to it. And
that's
therefore, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Killer was.
Let me
Billy.
You knew the whole
You knew it was
fucking
Billy,
time.
but you don't. I mean, obviously
You
they
knew
didn't
the
even
whole
find him.
time it was Billy. Now, beside that, even aside from that, though, you watch that movie because it was sort of entertaining all the way through. Meaning, you like to see the banter, you like the suspense of like, oh no, what happened to my boyfriend? And then I love the whole thing where the fact that the dead bodies were in the attic the whole time and nobody knew.
Even after the police had already been there.
They didn't decide to search the fucking attic. But aside from that, I thought that was funny. I thought that was cute. I thought it's a good movie. But The Omen is a great movie.
So I understand where you're coming from, but you're incorrect. I think the phone calls alone.
Sure. Oh,
the voice changing, the way that and like even Margot Kidder points out
three different people that were on those calls.
they point. Oh, he's upped his game. Like that to me was scary. I think because of the level of the fact that shit can happen. Now, The Omen, depending on your beliefs, could happen, right?
But that's not.
But either way, though,
because
you can even look at The Omen and say they just picked this kid because they thought he was. That could have just been all in the adults' heads. The kid was just. Granted, he scared the shit out of giraffes, but and any other animal that came nearby,
and bamboos,
and bamboos,
the red ass baboons.
Yes, yeah. So I get that, but so he had some sort of. What do you call it? Mysticism about him, like something about him attracted hate, right?
Hold on a second, bitch.
But
Let me correct you on this. Let's break down that scene with the red ass baboons.
Sure.
Let's break down the scene with the giraffes. And let's break down the scene even where they first tried to bring Damien to church.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Now the whole fact of when they're driving up and everything's calm and you're like, oh, how's this going to shake out? And you're like, the music builds up.
That music is like
the music builds up. So they
props, yeah.
led you down a path.
Yep.
They kept getting closer and closer to the church, and they took their time doing it. And the music built up, and all of a sudden you're like, he's getting sweaty, he's getting pumped. You're like, oh, shit's going down. The whole scene, just the anticipation built up and built up and built up until he starts beating the shit out of his mother to get away from that, and you're like, oh my God! You feel the whole sense of embarrassment that they got to get out of there, and the whole, oh my God, he's beating up his mother, and oh my God, he's Satan, he can't get near church, and oh my God, he's.
So I don't think they were churchgoers to begin with, but to me,
No,
that
but that's
part
not the point.
they should have. I think they
The
should have
point was
gone
the
a little
breakdown of the
further.
scene.
I think they should have gone a little further.
Oh, because they didn't go far enough.
Well, meaning
he was like scratching your eye.
No. Meaning instead he should have been uncomfortable, but then like they should have maybe got to the doors. Like they started to walk in, and then that's when he started like maybe not smoking, but
Right,
but the reason
why?
for that is because then she could have just been like, oh, maybe he's feverish, maybe he's sick.
They said that in the car. They got the same
but
interpretation
she
in the
specifically says, oh, he's shaking. What's wrong with him?
So here's the whole thing. So one of the things they were a little bit concerned about was Mrs. Baylock, the nanny. They were concerned initially that when she came on board after the first nanny killed herself.
How does that not draw attention, by the way? But go ahead.
right?
The agency.
The agency sent me. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Great.
I'm so rich.
I agree.
Someone else must have sent her.
Yeah. Fuck it. She looks good.
But the point is, it's like it is one of those things where it's like, who would look at her and go, yeah, she seems normal.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
even from the
She
get-go.
seems kind enough.
When she smiled, she was okay. But once her eyes got big,
Right.
oh fuck,
But-
yeah,
but
that
so-
was. I was like,
This is the whole thing.
So you like the fact that she led you to feel uncomfortable?
yes, no. I don't, like I've said 1,000 times before. I don't hate the movie.
No, but hating it and not seeing the beauty of this movie are
So
two separate things.
again,
Warwick, shut up! We're arguing.
so
He's trying to be
one of the whole
movement.
points is they were concerned, like, because the very first thing you actually really see where you really get that her trying to show her dominance was actually the right
You're
before
talking the
show.
nanny.
dog.
Yeah,
The dog or the nanny? Who are we talking
Mrs.
about?
Baylock.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, dog.
He said the dog.
The dog
He said
meaning
the
Miss.
dog.
No, Mrs. Baylock. I thought because her dominance was, I'm not giving the dog back. Right?
Yeah.
Right,
That was
no,
kind of
no,
how
but in other words,
which
so
didn't work out.
basically,
For a second, I
it
thought you
was
thought
that
the
church-
dog was named Mrs. Baylock.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
it was the church
Was it
scene
Mookie?
where basically it's like, oh, Damien doesn't feel up to going for church, and the mother's like, no, you need to get him ready. It's like he's going to church. Like that was the first kind of scene where you realize that there's just something off about her, where really
I was off when she showed up because the agency sent her, but
yeah well,
now
And
as
she
parents,
looked inherently evil.
because she's Irish.
So
back to you not liking the Irish.
my question My question about that though was they mentioned, "Oh, we'll call to verify." She's like, "Here's my references."
Right.
And they're like,
Did they
"Oh, that's fine."
Did they never call?
Yeah,
Like
because
I would have
things-
called.
Think about everything that happened from that time until they were done. It's not like they were sitting around reading the paper going, "Oh, wait, we forgot to call. Let's call the agency now."
Yeah.
There was always something happening.
And also, I
She
think
seemed
it's
like
one
a
of the things
stay-at-home
where
mom.
She seemed like a.
She was actually
She seemed initially like a normal-ish person.
very polite,
yeah.
very kind.
Very, very polite. But
I want to see the boy by myself like that.
like, that would
Nowadays,
be,
it's
that,
like
that would be a red flag.
Yeah.
You're
Agreed. Nowadays, that shit wouldn't
Yeah.
fly.
But
Agreed.
again, the whole point of the story, the director they were talking about the fact that really it's not until like even the scene at the church, kids have tantrums, kids flip out. There really wasn't a lot of indications, and that was the point of the original script was to make it so that actually very much like a Knock at the Cabin, where
Wow.
you didn't know, like, were they reading too much
Too far into it.
Absolutely. You had enough doubt.
Random events.
Absolutely.
Was this just a normal kid
Right.
that just happened to bump his trike into the mum's stool and things like
But you
Mrs.
could've-
Baylock kind of like pushed it over the edge
Agreed.
a little bit more than probably was necessary to keep that idea that you just don't know.
When
because
he
his
get-
head was down when he was riding the bike, so like he might not have seen her, right? You
Oh,
know?
but they played that out totally like it
Yeah.
could have been an accident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing I
Totally
wish they
could've been
would
an
have done in
accident.
that scene, though, if they didn't want to take him into the church, maybe as they're getting out, because obviously, Robert, the main character, got out. Maybe he starts to get out and goes to grab Damien, and Damien throws up or something. Kind of Exorcist-ish.
Okay.
And like
Hold
spins
on.
his head around.
Well, no. Then he turns
Hold
around and
on.
has a flip out because then you're like, oh,
Hold
well,
on.
maybe he's just sick.
So
right?
you're rewriting a scene the way you wanted it to
Yes.
play out.
Yes.
That doesn't mean
Because-
what the fuck is that?
Yes.
Because
wait,
so what?
you
I
can't
could,
rewrite any Black Christmas scenes because they're awesome.
I could rewrite every Black Christmas scene.
No.
It was good.
Yeah.
But I got a billion ways it could have been better.
That-
a billion ways it could have
Come
been
on.
better. First of all, not enough boobs.
What? And I agree. I'm sorry. When you
It's a
when
sorority.
you advertise a movie in a sorority house, I
That's
I
true.
need some breasts.
Sorority
I'm not
house in the
joking.
70s. Yeah,
I'm not joking.
Now, if you want to see, what's her name? Main
Margot
character.
Kidder?
No, Black Christmas
Oh,
main character.
What?
No,
Hold
I
on.
know.
If
what
you
it
want
is.
to see the Black Christmas Makers,
No.
If you want to see
Olivia Hussey.
Olivia Hussey. If you want to see her boobies, you can watch the. There's a. I'm turning into Mr. Skin here. There's a Romeo and Juliet that she was.
Yeah,
in.
yeah, in 1968. With
Oh, look at this guy! Yeah, he's-
that's
Okay.
the Bertolucci. Fellini.
Federico
Fellini?
Fellini.
That was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Was it
Fellini?
Yeah, 1968.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
Back to reality.
Sorry.
So,
If you wanna- I'm just saying, if
But
you wanna
that's
see her
not
boobs.
that's not the main.
Which was very
problem with
nice, by
this.
the way.
I don't have any problem with
Might need to
Black
pause.
Christmas. I like
No,
Black
I
Christmas.
know you do.
I'm
I'm-
just saying that the Omen
That-
was so well made.
It
Yeah.
was.
Okay.
And
so
the
let's
score was
let's get into
so
the numbers.
well
Let's get into the
timed
numbers
and played.
Let's let our boy over here
Oh,
give
I'm
us
not
some
done
numbers.
yelling at
I
you,
know
you
you are.
bitch.
Go right ahead.
Sit your beard ass down
Sit
and
down and
listen.
shut up.
It was just the fact that everything played into play, and it was so structured that it's structured properly in a way that everything led you down a specific path.
Yep.
When he was with the red ass monkeys and they started flipping out, I got scared. Because I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck's gonna happen? You don't fuck with baboons, man.
But that's
No.
where that part bothered me because the giraffes ran away. And
They just ran away.
What do most animals do when there's danger?
Baboons don't. That's the point. Baboons come after and beat the shit out of you.
In packs, but they
They were in a pack.
They were in a
but
pack.
there was so many of them. Like I still think
Was it two
and
packs?
I guess I could. Jesus.
Thank you.
They were.
Oh,
They were
God.
a biggie.
And then there was like this monolith in the background. No,
Whoa.
but even though those weren't baboons.
No,
All right, there was a
different
2001
movie.
reference-
Wrong movie.
reference. No, but like I felt like they could have with the baboons. I feel like it should have been not them attacking the car. It should have been more.
They
like,
tried to attack Damien.
No, but like they originally started off like all like hesitant.
Yeah, because
and
they're
then-
freaking out like,
Because
what the fuck it
they didn't know
is?
what they didn't know what they were seeing, and all of a sudden they realized it was a threat.
Yeah.
And
And so-
that's
Now,
why they
and so-
attacked
and
the
I'm
car.
assuming because of the time frame, yet again, I'm rewriting a scene. But what would have been great
Oh, here
is
we
if
go.
when
What
she
you
pulled
think is
away,
better.
they still were coming at, and she was running them over. Like she was running the baboons over.
Well,
to get
she
through them.
practically was,
Obviously, they
but-
couldn't do that for
Right,
practical
right,
effects
right.
and CGI
She
and whatnot.
practically
Was
But
not
was.
really available.
interesting
That
fact
scene would
about,
not have been able to be shot these
interesting
days.
fact about that scene. So they were when they first. Have you guys ever been to a safari park where there's live animals and you're driving your car through?
No, but they still have them in the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
They
Yes,
do.
because Amy
Not
was asking
many
me
of
about
them.
that. She's like, that would never happen a day like that. I'm like, yeah, there's still parks you can drive through.
So in England,
Yeah.
so that was filmed in Windsor Safari Park.
In England, yeah.
And we used to live right by Longley, which is another safari park. And so that was the whole thing. You'd get in your car, and you were always told when you go to the baboon encounter,
Watch the
Roll up
monkeys
your
do it.
windows.
Ba-
Roll it.
basically, make sure the windows are closed. If you have antenna,
Hold out bananas.
back in the day when you had antennas
that
that,
racist?
that you could
Retract.
retract. Always make sure the antennas went down because they'll just like rip the thing off. You know, there's a risk that they'll like rip the windshield wipers off, and they're fucking vicious animals.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
But
They are
anyway,
vicious,
so
strong,
when
vicious
they went
animals.
to film that scene, they went in and they had food around the car because they figured that the baboons would like at least come up and like rush the car and stuff like that. And the baboons did nothing. They just all sat around the side. Well, this is fucking boring. And so one of the keepers at the park got a baby baboon that hadn't yet been kind of like released out into the group and sat in the back of the car and basically kind of had the windows down and showed it to them, thinking that again they would come to the car. They did fucking nothing.
Really? Okay.
And they
I was
only
expecting that to be
they
it.
only had a certain amount of time in the park. And so they're like, what else can we do? And so basically one of the keepers grabbed
Flipped them all off. Baboons. Hey!
grabbed the alpha male of the pack and had them in the back of the car, and that's what caused all of the
Really?
the baboons to just to freak out was the
Okay.
fact that they had the alpha.
So they were
in
trying
the
to
car.
go help the alpha.
Yeah,
I
mean,
guess.
Look at it. Okay.
Saved.
probably.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah,
Interesting,
I mean,
interesting,
it's-
very cool.
Yeah,
So-
cool little fact.
So back to the bottom line because we're already a little over an hour now.
So do you want to know grosses though?
Yeah. Let's
All right, go ahead.
hear the number.
Omen had a budget of 2.
You think the number's going to change minds? Is that what you think?
'Cause I know you already made up yours, but
No, I love Black
just gonna
Christmas.
prove I'm right.
Omen had a budget of 2.8 million
Okay,
from 1976 and grossed 61 million.
61 million.
Of that, Grogu Peck was paid $250,000, which was a huge pay cut for him. But he was one of the first actors that took 10% of the gross.
Smart girl thinking.
And so
Smart.
Yeah. Subsequently,
So he made
he
6
made
mil off
he
it.
made shit tons of money. And,
Sure.
and remember that 61 million is just domestic.
Oh, true.
Theatrical releases.
Yep.
Not including VHS, or does include VHS?
Okay, a couple of little snippets.
All right,
Was originally called The Birthmark.
Dumb name.
Yeah.
Bad.
That would have
Totally.
really made me
I'm
hate
glad
it.
they went with
The
the
birthmark.
And the
Sounds
other
like a
thing is
pornography.
not so much a trivia thing, but okay. So literally, and I distinctly remember this from when I've watched it many times before. My favorite part in the entire movie, only for the fact that I want to own one, is do you remember when they go back to the hospital? Subsequently, after it's already, this is like later. Damien's now 6, and they go back to the hospital and they're talking to this nurse. And she
You want a
says
nurse?
and she's-
I'll take a nurse.
She's like, no, that all the documents have been destroyed. And
in Italy.
Yes, and then she jumps onto this elevator.
Yeah.
Yes!
That is this elevator
Yes!
that you literally just
Those were
There's no doors.
constantly moving.
You just
It was
like
like a-
climb
There's
onto
no
it,
doors,
and,
it's
and it just goes up into the
Right.
ceiling.
If you step or trip, you're dead.
I'm like,
Absolutely.
clearly that was a.
Yep.
And I'd actually tried to do research whether that was a real thing.
It is.
and
It is.
It is a
It's
real thing.
still used. They still
I think
use
they
those.
still use those in like China and stuff.
But it's
No,
like,
in Europe and Italy
Europe?
and stuff too.
But
They
it's like
still use
how,
them.
yeah, clearly not over here because I'm sure some asshole was gonna like get the legs chopped off just
Well,
to
yeah.
like
Because-
tying my shoe.
Because America is sue happy, lawsuit happy. So as soon as somebody would have tripped, they would have sued everybody. In Italy, like you tripped, you're the dumbass. You
Yeah.
tripped, so fuck you. You know,
Hey.
you
we
shouldn't
put 15.
have
We
tripped.
put 15 reverse gears in our tank. That was a World War II joke, by the way. But anyway, I still
Hey!
I remember watching. I remember seeing that this time and going, oh my god, that's right, that elevator is just the coolest fucking elevator.
Because she just steps on and disappears. You're like,
Yeah, what the fuck? And it wasn't going slowly.
No.
it was actually
No, it went
no.
it was going pretty quick.
you got to get
That's where
on
I
and
was
get on
wondering
quick.
if like she tried to bend down and say, "Hey," she
No, yeah.
cut off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's just it. Once you're on, you don't bend down and say, hey. You learn that right away.
Okay, so Black Christmas. Budget was $620,000.
I'm surprised it was that much.
It's probably Canadian.
I was gonna say it's probably Margot Kidder.
Probably Canadian dollars. It grossed 1.3 million.
What numbers did you want me to see out of that? Because that's fucking pathetic.
So interesting.
That's pathetic.
Interesting little factoid. So it was originally released in 1973.
He's still going.
It was originally released in Canada in 1973.
Where's your proof in that?
Because think about the Omen was probably marketed like a son of a bitch.
Sure, because they had the budget for it. What's
Exactly.
the point?
So that's my point.
please,
they barely doubled their fucking money.
Let me finish my Black Christmas thing, and I'll tell you how marketing worked for the Omen. So originally released in 1973 as Black Christmas in Canada, and then when it was released in the US, they were concerned about people thinking that it might be a blaxploitation movie, and so
that
in the
sounds
US,
like- yeah.
it was changed to Silent Night, Evil Night.
I actually have seen it under that title.
Okay.
I have seen that title.
It didn't do very well, and so
No.
so they released it about a year later as Black Christmas,
Black
and it did a lot better.
Yeah.
But so I have some other things for Black Christmas. But,
Keep going.
Do you need to, though, really?
I do.
Okay.
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 So
There we go.
this is actually it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
So, when it was first scheduled to be shown on the NBC, it was first
Okay.
scheduled to be shown on January 28th, 1978. It was going to be shown on TV, and the name was changed to A Stranger in the House.
Because they wanted to avoid the Christmas.
I guess. Yeah, because obviously
Okay.
it was post-Christmas. And really, other than the fact they mentioned the fact that one of them was supposed to go away for Christmas, there really wasn't a huge Christmas
Sure.
Yeah.
reference in the
Well,
whole
wait,
thing.
what are you talking about? The whole thing was all... It was snowing outside. There were carolers. There were Christmas
Ah, I
trees. There
guess.
were gifts.
Whatever.
There were,
Anyway, move on.
Okay.
Anyway, so it was supposed to be released
it's
on TV.
easily as much
January-
Christmassy as it is with...
Yeah. No, you can't.
God damn it. Never mind.
Moving on.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna say Die Hard?
Die Hard,
There it is.
thank you.
Okay, I do.
Die
Die
Hard's a
Hard.
fucking Christmas movie.
Yes, it is.
mentally-
January 28th. January 20th was when it was supposed to be released. January 28th, 1978. On January 15th, 1978, two female students at Florida State University were killed in the sorority house. And the killer was
I'm gonna say Ted Bundy,
Ted Bundy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in the house.
which I'm
but-
sure probably took away at least a good $58 million worth of that movie, which would have put it.
I would have thought that would have helped the
No.
movie.
Well, and again, this is shown on TV. They showed it about 6 months later.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Omen, the thing that was like super interesting about the Omen, so the Omen actually ultimately got released in about September of '76, but they did a special pre-release on June 6th, 1976, at 6 o'clock. And
Clever.
and
Clever.
they set them all the movie theaters around the country that were doing this pre-release. They set it up so that when the people left, there were all these signs that kept them talking about like 6, as in the fact that it was the 6th of June, and like 6 was just like all over all the promo
See,
pictures.
that sounds like a huge marketing budget.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it, but I'm
That's
just saying
smart.
that there wasn't a huge marketing budget, and we had a serial killer involved
Because
in
they didn't
ours.
have anything to back it up with.
Yeah, well,
Anyway, so
argument.
that's all I have for the Omen. But the one other interesting fact is, did you know? Because I actually didn't.
Oh.
Did you know that there has been 2 remakes?
Yes,
of
I
Christmas?
did. Yeah, I've seen.
oh,
yeah,
Black Christmas. Yeah,
Yeah,
I knew.
I've seen them both actually.
Yes, 2, and one of them was like cult
Black-
related, wasn't it?
Well, there was one with the
2000
son with a kid.
2006 and 2019. 2006 one was the
Didn't they have the wrestler dude in
Mary
it?
Trachtenheimer, something or other.
Trachtenberger?
Trachtenberger.
Michelle Trachtenberger?
Yeah, Michelle.
Oh,
Trachtenberger.
why do I know that? I never saw the
She's
remake.
Cute.
Yes.
So that one kind of steered away from the plot a little bit, but was the same basic concept.
But didn't that have a wrestler dude in it? Or am I thinking of
No,
something
no,
else?
no.
Oh, I'm
That's a
thinking
different
of
movie.
Yeah.
But they also did one with the kid in it, where it was the daughter and a kid, right? Black Christmas.
I think that was 2000. That was the 2006
19.
one.
No,
Well,
19.
2019 was the one that was basically almost a kind of word for word remake.
Oh,
of
that's
this
not the,
one.
okay, not the one I'm thinking
But
of.
like,
Wait a
obviously different
minute.
character names and stuff, and it was
Black
like
Christmas there was a totally different movie called Black Christmas.
right. I think that was the 2006 one. But anyway, so Roy Moore, who was the writer of the original, co-wrote like the remix.
Okay.
And did that help your decision at all?
No, I'd already decided that the Omen.
Okay.
I'd already decided that the Omen was
I
the
knew you
winner.
guys had your mind made
Oh
up.
yeah, you're right. You're right. So
That's why I gave the Omen another chance. It was because
2006 and 19 were the same storyline. It was a different movie that I was thinking of with the other Christmas
and that's
one.
why I tried to help you guys. I just could not. I couldn't.
Listen.
2v1 on this one.
Listen, again, Black Christmas is a great movie.
It is.
Great movie. I
It's
love
and
that.
so is the Omen.
It's
So is the Omen.
in this challenge. It's in this bracket for a reason. It
Speaking of brackets,
made
do we want to bring up the bracket?
it
Show
made
who the winner is?
it made the top 8.
Yeah.
But this is the fucking Omen.
Okay.
How do you not understand that this is a fucking
Like I
masterpiece?
said, if I was
The
saying
music,
I'll never watch this
every-
movie again, it's not that I won't. I'll watch the movie if somebody says, "Hey, let's watch a horror movie about a kid that's possessed," or it could be the devil. Let's do it. I'll watch The Omen, but
When I was a kid, when I first saw this movie, which actually,
they wrote on stone tablets. No.
which was, yeah, they did actually. How did you know?
You were
But-
in caves. No.
The one scene, and mind you, now I watched it in the 80s,
Yep,
right?
same
But
here.
the one scene where the photographer's head got chopped off.
So I will give props to that. That was
freaked the fuck out of me
Yeah.
for fucking
I-
weeks.
Although-
after
I'm with
sleep.
you.
the only downside of that. I wish it would have been. It kind of goes along the same lines. I understand that they had to do it probably for budgetary reasons and stuff like that, but like they dragged that out, and I felt like they dragged out
Because they wanted to
Wait,
be
hold on.
impactful.
I think they should have done faster cutaways. Like, so when the priest, it reminded me, and you guys are going to hate this, but it reminded me of an Austin Powers. So I'm going with the priest in this first part. When in Austin Powers, I think it's the first one or possibly the third one. He's
Goldmember?
driving one of those like levelers. And the guy's standing there going, no!
Oh,
And it's like
yeah,
five.
yeah,
That's what it reminded me of, because it's like, hey, I'm going to walk out here and I'm going to look up and go, oh, that's coming towards me.
Hold
no!
on. It
Like-
was nothing like that.
That's exactly
It was
what
nothing like
he
that.
is literally bending down to pick
no
up the
shit.
knives.
As soon as he lifts his
and
head.
then as he
No.
goes to go-
No, I'm talking about the priest. In when the priest gets killed.
Oh, with the
no.
That was a
Fire
little
coming
too
out.
much.
No,
So then
He's old. He's old.
I felt like
He
when
couldn't move fast.
when the photographer's character died, that was a good sequence, except for the truck rolled a little too long. I felt like if they would have
Oh my God, you.
because there was too much where he's
bitch.
sitting there getting them, and then he looks up and he sees, oh, there's a truck coming
You know
towards
what?
me.
But he
Then it
don't-
hits, and then the things slide off. That would have been enough time to go.
You know what? My problem was when I saw that truck there, it was the wrong color. It did not match the
Yes,
color that
it
a truck
should
that
not-
would
the
kill
palette
somebody.
of the
weight-
movie-
the
Just
weight
wasn't
of
the
that
right color.
glass.
The
That weight of that
glass-
glass, it would have.
All I gotta say is that guy that got out of that truck was an asshole.
No,
neck
I think when that glass went through him and smashed glass behind, that glass shattered way too much.
No,
I would have had it shattered a little bit more fragmented.
That was good because
and a little bit more shard-like.
When I did first see it, I was like, well, okay, his head's gonna get cut off. with,
Okay,
like, collars, so-
it's time to end this.
yeah. So yeah, we should. We're at a buck
let's see,
20.
so what's your vote, Logan?
I'm going Black Christmas.
What's your vote, Logan?
Black Christmas.
Black Christmas. Great movie. Warwick, what's your vote?
The Omen.
Okay, Lon, what's your vote? The Omen. Let's fucking settle this shit.
All right, we're gonna show it.
Fucking
We're gonna show it.
God damn.
I put up a good fight.
You had no reasons for a half. All right, The Omen. There we go. Now
Boom.
this is going to be interesting.
That's gonna be
The
a very.
Halloween and The
versus
Omen.
The Omen.
That is really going to be tough for me
That's going to be very interesting.
because that is going to be. I mean, honestly,
Those
The
be
Omen
fighting words.
really does
The Omen.
rank up as
it's
one
a
of my
classic.
favorites.
It's beyond a classic. It's award winning.
and again,
You could even.
think about soundtrack. like both
Oh.
like
They both had
Icon-
great
iconic
soundtracks. Yeah,
soundtracks.
yeah.
I will give you props on that one.
They both had influence in the industry.
Technically, they both were
devils.
the devil's child. The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Oh, because you're. Oh, I see the question. I see what
Just
you
throwing that out
did. I
there.
see what you did there.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So let's end this
Wow.
episode. That was I put up a decent fight, even though I knew
We're
I knew I was.
We're not saying
know.
it's a bad movie.
No, that we that's what I like about this is that
but
we
you
have to.
said that the Omen was stupid.
I didn't say it was the
You
words come out.
word? We got it on fucking tape.
And they're gonna go back and go.
record
He
it.
never said stupid. I said
What'd you
it
say?
was not as good as Black Christmas.
You said it was silly. It was stupid.
There was parts
I'm
of
gonna
it that
fucking
didn't
rewind. I'm
make
gonna
it-
rewind and play it right here.
There were parts of Black Christmas that didn't make sense.
No,
Yeah.
Black Christmas was simple. A guy climbs into a building and starts killing people.
And it made no sense for certain parts. You think the whole thing made perfect sense?
No, people disappear.
They
and
did.
go,
The
"Oh, she was
police
supposed to
didn't
leave."
search the fucking attic.
Calls
The
are coming
police
from
were
inside the
idiots.
house. So
I will say this.
I already
That was the
lost.
first
Why
time
are
that
you
was
beating a
used.
man down here?
That was the first time that was done. They made a whole movie
Yeah.
based on that line.
Yeah.
The calls are
I
coming
also
from
do-
inside the house.
I do think
that
it-
was terrifying.
I do
That
think it was
terrifying.
kind of funny, and to give it credit, I didn't pick up on it. I do think it's funny how they made a distinct point of saying that the housekeeper's phone was a different number
Yes.
than the other number.
Yeah.
Like, I'm normally very good at when seemingly random plot points get brought up. I'm normally very good at going, well, clearly that they're bringing that up.
Yeah.
Because that's
that's
the killer.
significant.
Right.
You know.
Right.
know.
That's usually a flaw.
Right.
They didn't do that in Black Christmas. They held out.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
That was.
It's a good movie.
And again,
It's a good movie.
As we've said many times, let's be clear: these are the top 8.
Absolutely.
Best
We're
movies
being.
that we
I don't want to
feel-
say we're being nitpicky, but that we have to, right?
Right.
Like,
Absolutely, we have to. Absolutely, we have to. It's just that it for some people it's a little bit more clear because of the effect that it had. Most people, you say, "Have you heard of The Omen?" Oh yeah. Have you heard of Black Christmas? What?
Right.
So think about that influence on the
that's because the
nation.
cool people go, "Oh fuck yeah."
And by the way, all three of us were like, "Oh fuck yeah!" But then The Omen, you're like, "Oh fuck yeah!"
Absolutely.
All right, we're done.
All right.
We're
Awesome.
done.
All right,
We're done.
folks.
So,
Thank
so,
you.
So, do we want to see what our next episode
Yeah,
is going to be?
all right,
Because
sure.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a little teaser.
Sure. So the next movie, we did this. The next one is going to be Phantasm versus The Exorcist.
which will be a good one.
That's a good
Now,
one.
have you guys knew Phantasm before?
Absolutely, of
Okay,
course.
all right. Just want to check because
I've seen them all.
okay. I'm
Most
just
of them,
worried that-
most of the series are really bad, but the first one's really,
Oh,
really
agreed.
Yeah.
But the first one,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
All
it was
right. It's not going to be that easy, folks.
No, because The Exorcist is also an awesome movie.
Yep. All right. Then we will see you next episode. You got to start commenting. You got to let us know if we're way off the fucking base. If all of you fuckers are like, "Oh yeah,
If you
Logan's right on,"
yes, then please
Tell us.
Obviously, I need some help here.
tell us
Yes,
so we know
clearly
who
he
to
needs
block
help.
from this channel. Otherwise, thank you for coming. Please comment. Please like. Please
Like,
subscribe.
comment, subscribe.
Tell all
We'll
your
have
friends
the
about
social
us.
medias and
We
stuff
would
around
all
here.
we want is a sponsorship from some liquor company. So just give us enough people that we can do that, and
or
we'll
just
give you better
enough
content.
so we can keep doing this.
So that
Well,
we're
we'll give you better content.
real
too.
people.
We'll hire a real editor.
No, we probably
What
won't.
was that? You're-
Because we can't. We're not qualified.
That's not going to happen. That's not going
But
to.
Anyway,
All right. Thanks for coming,
awesome.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Social media.
Appreciate it.
bye-bye.
Okay. All right. We love. I clap.
I know.
Don't you hit that.